A little background on me. I already mentioned that I was very hesitant about the future of drones when I was first starting to figure out what I wanted to do post high school, as a lot of you guys are probably trying to figure out right now. I was originally going down the path of manned aviation, and of course you all understand how airplanes are used within natural disaster efforts. That wasn't really at the top of my mind, but I just knew that the future of commercial aviation was very limiting, and not to downplay anyone that makes a living in commercial aviation. I just had all of my flight instructors that were like captains of Delta, private charter airline pilots, crop dusters, like the full gamut of what you can do as a pilot, all tell me the same thing. If you want to fly, go be a doctor, go be a lawyer, essentially go do something that you can make a decent amount of money, buy a plane and fly it on your own time, because otherwise you're just flying from point A to point B with people or cargo that you have to get from one location to another. And again, not anything really against that, just knew that wasn't really the life that I wanted to live. So as I started from like 12 to 17 after my first flight lesson, I knew I wanted to go into aviation. Thought I would big grandiose goal or dream of mine to own and operate my own airline when I was about 17, and HDMI cable just quit out. And then realized that if I wanted to map the world with drones, which came to be my idea once I got into Middle Tennessee State University. They had an unmanned, and they still have an unmanned aircraft systems program. And I went there because there's no program in the state of Georgia where you could study unmanned aircraft systems or drones. And so there's a program that some of you guys might be familiar with called the Academic Common Market, where you can get in-state tuition at a handful of other states if the program that you want to study is not offered here. So I kind of reluctantly, again, went to MTSU to study unmanned aircraft systems, thinking drones were a gimmick, like, hey, whoop-de-doo, they could take photos and videos, who really cares? And then if I didn't like that, I could transfer into one of their more traditional manned aviation programs, like their pro-pilot program, aviation management, aviation technology, etc. But there I met another student that was kind of ahead of the learning curve, really the only one that already had a drone going into the program, and he had actually already at that time was starting to build his own drones. And dating myself, that was back in 2016, so almost a decade ago now. But then he showed me how he created a 1-to-1 scale 3D map or 3D model of a nearby construction site. So he basically had his drone fly an automated mission, taking about 500 or so photos of that construction site. And you could, from the computer, go and take measurements anywhere from the building, do inspections. And that really got me thinking, well, if you could do this, with one drone, in a couple hours' time, it's just a matter, of another few decades before we're able to map the whole world with drones. And that's when I started thinking, how can we build a business around this idea? And so, as you can see, this very simple equation, we need to start making our own drones, right? If we want to map the world with drones, we need drones to do that. Then we need some sort of software platform, kind of like Google Maps, where it can not just be used to tell the drones where to go and what to do, but then actually update that world map platform with that updated imagery, with that updated data to make the world more accessible. And then in the case of natural disasters, see where there's people that are stranded, hurt, they may need cargo delivered to them. So just kind of tying it all together in one software platform. Bear with me as this HDMI cable hopefully does not come disconnected too much more. And then services, like I mentioned, it takes a team to do anything really worthwhile, especially if you're building your own hardware and software. So Brian and I started out just offering drone-based services, and actually we'll get into it. Now we've actually had our own drones be used for some natural disaster services, and we'll show you some content for that as well.